Hi, my name is Tomo or Miss Teemo, and I play mid lane for Serenity Game Changers.
What is behind you? What is the name of that frog? Does it have a name?
I refer to them as Froggy-san, but like with a funny accent, I say Froggy-san. So I stream on Twitch, and then I have like a plushie of the day. So every stream, we have like our special friend of the day, and then whenever I get a new plushie, I let them give them a nickname.
Every single one of your plushies has a name then.
Yes, and I have a Google Doc of a picture of each one with a nickname next to all of them. So
Very organized. Very organized. So I wanted to start off just hearing your story as a player, your journey. How did you get to this point?
So I started League of Legends in the fall of 2012. So that's season 2, the end of season 2. I fell in love with it pretty quickly. It was one of the first computer games I ever played. I didn't have a computer for a very long time, so that being the first game I played, it was definitely it got me hooked. A lot of my friends at school played, so I'd play with my friends all the time. I spent an embarrassing number of hours playing League instead of doing schoolwork. The usual. The very first actual season I played, season 3, I ended gold 1 with like a 70% win rate or so. I didn't play much ranked, but that's kind of where I started. And then by season 5, I turned into a Thresh 1 trick. And then I hit Diamond for the first time, and that was kind of my end goal. Because at the time, there was no Master rank, there was no Grandmaster. It was just Diamond 1, go straight into Challenger. So to me, hitting Diamond was like, okay, like I am high elo. Like I hit the goal that I wanted to. Most of my friends were all Diamond. So I'm now the same level as my friends. And you know what? I'm pretty content. Like I grinded, I learned about the game, and I've improved. And you know what? We're okay with that. And season 12 last year, um, a certain friend motivated me to try to climb. He was a very high elo player. He was a challenger player, and he was like, "Hey Tomo, like I know you're diamond, but you're very talented at the game. You should try climbing, and I think you deserve to be higher elo than what you put yourself as." Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's just a really supportive friend, and I really do appreciate him. So that year in season 12, last year, I tried climbing, and I won't lie, it did not go well. I went up and then down, and I went up and down, and then in the end, I ended Diamond 4. It was not great. I was definitely demotivated. In March of 2023, I hit Diamond promos, or the Master promos, for the first time. I had a 64% win rate. I was 1-1 in promos, and then I lost it. And then I got promos again, and then I lost it. But yeah, I eventually made my way back up the very last week of the split, and I hit Master for the first time, which is in the grand scheme of things, it's not very high. There's still a very large difference between Master, Grandmaster, and Challenger, but it felt nice working for a goal for the first time in a very long time, and then to just reach it. But I didn't really have the time to invest into League. So last year was really the first time that I kind of had the time to really focus and improve on the game, and I'm really happy that I've been able to improve.
What made you want to compete in Game Changers? Well, what made you want to move forward to another step in the competitive journey?
From a young age, I was very competitive. I was taught to be competitive, mostly because when I was growing up, I used to play baseball. I've played in a state tournament before. I've been flown out of state to play in a tournament as well. And because of work, I kind of haven't been able to use that competitive drive for anything. So when this opportunity came up, I was like, okay, this is it. Like I can work for something. I can be competitive. It's not like solo queue where there's so many factors that are kind of just out of your control. In an event like this where you're working with a team, people have the same goal as you. They're working towards winning. I felt like this is finally what I really wanted to do, which is to compete as a team. I really like competing as a team. It's cool to be able to compete by yourself, but I really like that teamwork aspect where you're working together for a goal and hopefully you get to achieve it all together.
I actually am really curious because you mentioned the baseball a few times now. Do you find that your experience in baseball and the role that you played in that sport has influenced how you approach League of Legends and the role that you play in League of Legends?
It definitely does. at least what my role was in baseball was I need to take one for the team, kind of like I need to step up and get on base, but if the position arises, then I will purposely get out to move forward the game. So a very common tactic in baseball is that if there's a runner on first, the next batter, assuming it's 0 outs or 1 out, will bunt the ball, and then you'll get a runner on second with 1 out instead. And then when there's a runner on second, it's much easier for your team to score. So it's kind of like understanding your role, and sometimes getting out, which is typically a bad thing, is kind of your role as a player. In League, it's like a very similar thing. Sometimes your role is not to carry, but to sit there and soak pressure, to get ganked. Usually it's good if you don't die. That's probably the best, but sometimes being on like the losing side, in League you call it like weak siding. Sometimes that's the best thing you can do for your team, is to be weak side and to kind of just soak all that pressure and to persevere through that. It does translate to some extent, where you have to understand sometimes not being the star is what is the best thing you can do for your team.
What does Game Changers mean to you?
The Game Changers, I feel like it's a great program that really reaches out to people that typically wouldn't have this opportunity. And again, I'm really grateful that I'm being given this opportunity. So in that sense, I really want to work this event to the fullest. I want to try my best. I will put in everything I can, and hopefully it works out.
Do you have any particular goals that you're working on while participating?
Well, first, obviously I want to win. I'm competitive. I want to win. But this event has a lot of resources available for the players. There are a lot of coaches. I mean, even just your teammates as well. They're also resources that can help you improve. So I want to do everything. Like, I want to be able to use everything that's available to me and to improve as much as possible. So those are like my 2 main goals. And then if I do get an opportunity to be able to continue to be in the scene, in this competitive scene, would be ideal. That's kind of like, that's a dream. It's not a goal, it's a dream. You got to keep your goals realistic, but my dream's big. So if that is an opportunity that arises, I would love to pursue that as well. If there are other positions, like I said, I'm Japanese, so I can speak fluent Japanese. If that somehow translates into a job in esports, maybe there's a Japanese import that comes to NA and they need a translator. Hey, like, I see what players go through, and if I could translate that experience playing Game Changers to being able to aid someone in their play in North America as a translator, like, that would also be a pretty cool opportunity. So if there is a opportunity other than as a player in the competitive scene, I'm always down to try it. I'm always down to kind of push it to where I can.
Sure. But player is the focus, and then open to other opportunities.
Please consider me as a player first, and if that doesn't work out, then we can like consider the other stuff.
But it seems like esports is where you want to be then.
I just really I love this game. I love League of Legends. I really do enjoy the game, and I want to kind of support people that also enjoy the game. So if I can't be the player, then I want to be the person that supports them.
If you could describe your personality using 3 words, what would the 3 words be? You can take your time with this one, okay? But
3 words. Oh dear, that's not a lot of words. But I describe myself as chill, passionate, which is kind of a juxtaposition, but chill, passionate, and also caring. I'm pretty chill, as in like I don't really like get angry or like tilted. I know that sounds weird as a League player. I assume that everyone assumes that every League player just wants to scream their head off and just type out essays in chat, but I'm quite the opposite. I'm pretty good at keeping a level head. I'm passionate because I kind of highlighted it earlier, but when I get an opportunity, when I get to work on things, I work it to the fullest. I try my best in everything. That's kind of all I know how to do. All I know how to do is just work hard. So I'm pretty passionate about what I do. I love League, so I will work my best in League. I love cooking, which is why I work in restaurants. I'm very passionate about these things. And lastly, I'm caring. I really care about my friends deeply and my teammates, and I just want them to have the best time. So I will do what I can to help them, to make sure that they're all right. And yeah, that'd be how I would describe myself.
If you could not play League, no League of Legends at all available
Mhm.
for you, what other game would you play?
If I couldn't play League, and it wasn't a competitive game, I'd play Pokemon. Pokemon's my childhood. I love Pokemon. Like, I have all of the first 3 generations. I have all the maps memorized and where to catch every Pokemon. I was nerding out when I was younger.
What's your favorite Pokemon?
My favorite, super basic, but I like the Eevee line, the Evolutions. I like all of them. Um, I like that they keep adding on to the Evolutions. I wish they would add one for every single type because I love their designs, and yeah, they're just all great. If it had to be competitive, then I would play Rainbow Six Siege. I'm not very good at Rainbow Six Siege, but I really like the game. I haven't been playing a lot recently. Like, the server connection issues kind of make it a little bit hard to play, so it's hard to get a squad together as well since most of my friends have moved on from the game. But I really do enjoy the game, kind of the wall destruction. It really helps bring out your creative side, being able to kind of be flexible and to adapt to any situation. It's very similar to League in that way, where even though the map is the same, you have to think differently, you have to play differently based on how things play out. In that sense, I really enjoy Rainbow Six Siege. Although, I will be fair, I'm very bad at shooting. My headshot accuracy is probably like 10%. It's really bad.
What is a fun talent that you have?
Yes, so I actually have 2 cool talents that I have. The first one is from high school. I did color guard, and if you're not familiar with what color guard is, it's part of the marching band. You'll usually see them like waving flags around, but what most people don't know is that they also have sabers and rifles. So the saber I use, I believe it's 39 inches from for the entire blade, and then I also have my rifle. It is not a functioning rifle, thankfully. It's just a chunk of wood, but here's the rifle. I believe this is also 39 inches. Or maybe this one was 42, but this one as well. So to put it simply, I can throw the saber into the sky, have it spin 5 times, and land on my, like, right in front of me, right here, every single time. I just go like this, I throw it, it spins 5 times, and I'll come back down and I'll catch it. And I can do that with the rifle as well. My other talent is, because I was a professional cook, I actually work in fine dining. I work in a Japanese fine dining. So this is a very typical Japanese knife bag. And then, if you open it up, I have a lot of knives in here. This is a sashimi knife. We call this a yanagi. This is 12 inches. From here to here is 12 inches. So there's the yanagi. I also have... This one is called an usuba. So this one's used for vegetables. This is the deba. The deba is usually what you use to cut up the fish. So you'll see here, but unlike the usuba, this one is a lot thicker. So even like this blade portion here, it's going to be thicker. It's a lot heavier because you're going to be taking the fish and you're going to chop up the bone. So it's a lot heavier, but it also breaks a lot less easily since you're going to be cutting through fish bone. So those are the 3 main types of knives that people will use in Japanese restaurants. So when you work in a Japanese restaurant, you use special chopsticks to plate things and to work with things. You don't just use those regular old chopsticks, you use these ones. These ones. So they're actually very pointy at the end so that you can stab into things. And what I was taught to do is you take a wine cork and then you keep it stabbed in here. So this is called osechi. It's a Japanese New Year food. So it's kind of like a bento box. And a lot of times it'll be 3 layers. And then each food in there has a special meaning to bring you good luck for the year. So for example, the shrimp head, it's supposed to help you grow strong because the shrimp head looks like a kabuto, like the Japanese helmet from like the samurai days. Since it looks like that helmet, they say if you eat it, you'll grow big and strong like a samurai. Very, very old traditional style values, but it is something that kind of continues in Japan. So at our restaurant, we used to make those, and that's kind of the pinnacle of our cooking because there's a lot in there that take a lot of skills, a lot of knife work. So yes.
That's cool. It's a good one to show off then.
Yes, it's the easiest to show off too. Like, you look at it and it's just like, wow, there's so much.